Hello. Thanks for tuning in this week. I just want to let you know what you're going to see in this video. So this week, the vlogger and Paradise competitors were asked to reflect on their happiest poker moment. So let's get into it. My happiest poker moment? This would have to be it. And here it is. The only proof of my third place finish in the WSOP 2015 ladies event. Not even on Hendon Mob. Not sure why. Other than that the ladies get the raw end of the deal. So there were 137 entries. And I finished third place. It's not bad. That was probably my happiest poker moment. The 2015 World Series circuit event that was held over at the Horseshoe in Baltimore, Maryland. And I played the ladies event. And I remember being a little nervous, but only because I was starting to run kind of deep in the tournament. And there was this one move that I made where it was a king high board. I wasn't holding a king, but I remember being in late position, and I know that I had enough chips that if I put them all in, nobody would really want to call me. And the table was just kind of soft. I wasn't nearly as aggressive then as I am now, but I figured, I better take this opportunity. I got to take a shot right here. So when it checked around to me on a king high board, I just went all in. And I took down a sizable pot because we were at a full ring table, and there were probably 6 of us in the hand. And the blinds and andes now had gotten kind of high. Again, I'm sorry, I can't give you all the details. I just don't remember them that well. It was 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago. And I just remember taking down that pot. And a poker acquaintance who was sitting at the table, afterwards she remarked that she had a king. And I was thinking, well, why didn't you bet? Little did I know that I was, bluffing. I thought that I was just taking it down with the best hand, and I knew that if they all checked, then I probably had the best of it, and I'll just take it down there. So if she had a little more nerve and she called me, then I probably would have busted out of the tournament. But play continued. I continued to do well. Had a couple of guys on my rail who were giving me advice here and there. And it was awesome. It was cool to have people in my corner and on my side rooting for me and giving me tidbits of information here and there. And then especially when we got down to final table. I had made final tables before, but the stakes in this one were a little higher, only because it was a World Series event, the first one I've ever played in, and there was, I think, a necklace online. When guys play, they get rings. A ladies event, we get a necklace. So, I wanted the up top money, of course. And then I wanted some hardware. I was ready for it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this thing down. But there was this Asian chick who, she's a little older than me at the time. And she was a good player. She was a really good player. She was smart and she was aggressive. And when I got to see some of the hands that she was raising with, I was just like, I was dumbfounded. I was like, why is she raising with Jack 2? Off. And again, while this was only 3 years ago, I was still so kind of new and nervous at that quote unquote that level that I wasn't aggressive enough. And if I knew then what I know now, I think I probably would have given her a run for her money. At some point, we got 5-handed, and the big stacks started like playing each other and just going at each other. And I remember looking over at my rail like, do you see what's going on here? What are they doing? Why are they re-raising each other and getting it all in? When they should have been targeting, the middle and little stacks. But somehow a couple of the big stacks got into it, and like they get knocked out over a period of hands, and I find myself three-handed in this event. And I felt confident that I would end up getting heads up, but at some point, the Asian chick, who was very aggressive and a formidable opponent, just continued to keep the pressure on, and she would raise in position. If I limped, she'd raise, and I just couldn't get much traction. And I think I finally got it in with some kind of face card, and she hit one of her cards for just a pair, and she took it down, and that's how I finished third place. And it's not even on Hand and Mob. I don't know what to say about that. I cashed, I think it was 3,400 that year. And I remember taking a picture in my car. I had a Cadillac at the time. It's an orange Cadillac that I used to drive. And I had fanned the money. I just had it like against the steering wheel. And I was like, yo. Because I hadn't gone to the bank. So I was going to take the money and deposit it into my bank account the next day. So after I busted, I go get paid, and at the horseshoe they pay you in poker chips, and then you have to turn them in cash. And so after I got the cash, I went back downstairs to the ballroom where all the tables were, and ran into my buddy Steve, aka Alabama, and I was like, can you walk me to my car? Because a lot of people had just given me this impression about the horseshoe, that it was unsafe. It's in downtown Baltimore. You got to be careful. And if somebody saw me, cash out for $3,000, I certainly didn't want to get knocked upside the head on the way to my car. So I just asked Steve to walk me to my car, just to make sure I got there safe. And yeah, so that was my biggest cash to date, to that date, and I would say probably my happiest